sisters! Free ourselves! Free our sisters! Free ourselves! Free our sisters! Free ourselves! What do we want? Equal pay! When do we want it? Now!
If I'm writing something, the anxiety is to get it right. And so the question you ask yourself is not, is this a success, but did I get it right? For me, success is when people engage with the topic. They don't have to take my line on it. But if they'll just give me a hearing, then that's cool.
Two mates are on a mission to figure out how 10 Aussie icons in completely different fields broke away from the pack. We want to dig deeper, see if anyone can do what they've done, and figure out their common thread. Professor Germaine Greer is one of the 20th century's most influential feminists. The controversial writer and academic overturned a lot of the world's thinking on feminism when in 1970 she published her international bestseller, The Female Eunuch. Since then, she's published other books, co-presented TV series, written for newspapers, and lectured at Cambridge University. She's continually challenged the status quo through her flamboyant writing and intellectually charged media appearances. Few Australians have polarised and provoked public opinion as much. After tracking down the legendary adventurer Albie Mangles, we found ourselves back over the border at Melbourne University to meet with Germaine. She had just sold the university the rights to her lifetime archive for over $1 million, which she donated to Australian rainforest rehabilitation. The leafy campus was the perfect setting to unpack the thinkings of one of the country's best-known scholars.
Germaine, we've interviewed a judge, a doctor, sports people, business people. How would we categorise your career?
I'm a writer.
And not an academic nor an activist?
I'm not an activist. I can't bear committees. I haven't got the patience. I keep saying what everyone else is trying not to say. I don't get the rules at all.
We've read that you had very little support from your family at a young age. Did unsupportive parents hinder you?
No. And for all I know, I was impossible, you know? A sceptical, thoughtful child. I mean, I think my father was probably afraid of me. My mother, I think, was probably Asperger's, somewhere on the spectrum. Fairly severe, I'd say. And so nothing was going to come from there anyway.
Germaine's childhood was similar to Albie's in that her parents were hands-off and she was free to pursue her own interests. A naturally gifted student, she received academic scholarships from a young age all the way through to her PhD at Cambridge. It was here, while studying the arts, she immersed herself in the student acting scene.
That was the musical Boot, runner-up in the soul section.
We wondered whether this is where she first became comfortable with being the centre of attention. Given her natural talents as a performer, we wanted to know what led her to pursue an academic career.
It was the only way forward, I think. I was just on that little track that I would earn this scholarship and then ting, 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 I'd earn the other one and ting, 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 and another one. And then get the academic job, ting, ting, and then get the PhD, and then and on and on. Then I started to bore myself, so I left.
And you felt like there weren't other options?
No, I did feel there were no other options, for a girl in particular.
It's important to think about the era Germaine grew up in. Women had only had the right to vote for a few decades. They couldn't take out home loans without the approval of their husbands or take seats at the boardroom table. It was only from 1963 that women had the right to drink in public bars. And so 30-year-old Germaine, fed up with the status quo, published her first book, The Female Eunuch. Its core thesis being that the traditional suburban family represses women sexually, castrating them.
there is an element of hatred and rejection in men's relationships to women, which women are unfortunately unaware of at their peril.
Germaine tackled topics that had never been discussed before, weaving in her distinctive humour, boldness and coarse language. The book was the first of its kind, and by 1971 was an international bestseller, eventually selling more than 6 million copies. Germaine became a cult figure, promoting her book and radical thinking on any and every stage around the world.
Because I say that just as a bullock doesn't know what it's like to be a bull and doesn't know what he's missing, so women who live in the normal circumstances in our society don't know what it's like to be really female and really human and really in control of all their potential.
I really don't know what women are asking for. Now, suppose I wanted to give it to them.
Listen, you may as well relax, because whatever it is they're asking for, honey, it's not for you.
No.
To this day, the Female Eunuch has never been out of print and remains one of the most important texts in the feminist movement. We wanted to hear Germaine's take on it all.
What role has luck played in your career?
Lots, I would think. In a funny way. I mean, the Female Eunuch was lucky because it was written at the right time. How many publishers would do it again? You know, they assumed that feminism was a fashion and that it would be over, but very few feminists have abandoned the faith.
Now, I have a ruler here, which I'm going to give you. And at this end is the year 1970 and the world that was. And my question to you is, how far have we moved in the direction of your feminist ideals?
From here, from
Yes.
the whole... Well, maybe there?
Is that 1 centimetre?
Not even.
Not even on a 30 centimetre ruler, not even 1 centimetre.
Well, the thing is that the equality discourse is nonsense. It's not desirable, even supposing it was doable. And so people keep scratching their heads and saying, oh, shit, you know, women are getting poorer than ever. Oh, that's right. And then when it comes to the things that only women do, like giving birth, they're disadvantaged, and they get more disadvantaged all the time, whereas we're being told that women have got to be put on the boards of corporations, whether they want to be there or not.
Germaine certainly got both of us thinking. We thought perhaps she would feel society had moved closer towards her feminist ideals since 1970. But her point is that as long as we still live in a society where the majority of the power structures have been created by men, there simply can't be true equality. This idea has been at the core of her life's work, to raise awareness about how it isn't a level playing field for both men and women.
I have come to the conclusion, after thinking about it for quite a long time, that men are seriously weird.
Yeah. But I agree with that as long as you go and say, and women are seriously weird as well,
women
in
are.
maybe a different way.
Wait a minute, how can you say that? If you find...
Show. That's what I like.
That's a very good male response,
Yeah.
but okay.
No, look,
But wait a minute, wait.
No, look, I'm a feminist the same as you. I come from a long line
You
of
are
women.
not
My mother
the
was
same
a woman.
as me.
Her mother before, you know.
You are bald. You are not the same as me.
Hey, this is sexual harassment, this is.
And what does it feel like? Tell
I love
me about
it.
later.
Women would have a better time if they were harder of access, if they were prouder, if they were more combative, if they were difficult, and if it was a challenge to a man to actually enter into a relationship with them, to develop their own true talents as well, to find out what the talent is that it is death to hide, and what it is that you can do that no one else can do, and to be sincere and wholehearted in that, just to be truly absorbed in what you're doing.
How do you expect women to go against the grain of the patriarchal business community and society and still get ahead?
Well, the get ahead bit is interesting, because there's no race and you don't have to win. What women are longing for is a life. What most corporation men are longing for is a life. But the corporation doesn't offer a life, it offers a career. And what is interesting about the corporation is it's a story of failure. Everyone is a loser. There's only one person at the top. There's the CEO. Now, when is corporation man going to wake up to that?
What's your definition of failure?
Supposing we think Julia Gillard. Did she fail? Not really. I mean, she did her best, but she was obstructed at every step. And in the end, she was thrown out. But I don't think she ought to feel that she's a failure. She's not a failure till she gives up. I suppose I'd have to say that's it. It's when you give up that you're a failure.
So what advice would you give your younger self?
As I recall, my younger self wasn't too good at taking advice. So I'd probably hold my tongue.
Germaine is not known for holding her tongue. Since the Female Eunuch, she's frequently made her opinions public and constantly defied people's expectations. After comparing Big Brother to a fascist prison camp, she then appeared on the show in 2005. She's taken on British royalty, calling Princess Kate too thin, and it was Julia Gillard, after all, whose appearance she mocked on national TV.
Every time she turns round, you've got that strange horizontal crease, which means they're cut too narrow in the hips. You've got a big ass, Julia, just get on.
She also described Steve Irwin as a self-deluded animal torturer shortly after his death, Princess Diana as a devious moron 10 years after her death, and once suggested Michelle Obama's dress looked like a butcher's apron. Comments like these have made people laugh and outraged at the same time. Few of us could withstand the amount of backlash she's caused. But she's certainly achieved her goal of getting people to think and engage in her topics.
I'm going to say some things to you today that you may not necessarily agree with. This doesn't worry me. All I want you to do is to think about what I'm saying.
Have you ever been the victim of tall poppy syndrome?
It's commonly thought that Australians don't rejoice in the success of other Australians, that they snipe and want to say that it's because she slept with a producer or whatever. And I'm sure people have said that about me, but that's not something I'm going to think about.
What about those people who work hard without achieving their goals?
My position about work is D.H. Lawrence's, really. There's no point in work unless it absorbs you, like an absorbing game. If it doesn't absorb you, if it isn't any fun, don't do it. Work should be its own reward. It should be like playing. We are naturally busy. But most of us are having our natural busyness wasted for meaningless drudgery.
How independent do you have to be the best at what it is that you do?
I think you have to listen to your own voice. You have to follow your own conscience, it is really, but it's being responsible for what you say and what you do.
No matter what Germaine says about people or what people say about her, she always speaks her mind. And it was this approach that helped pour fuel on the women's liberation fire in the first place, inspiring women to believe in themselves and not just live according to men's expectations. Germaine continues doing this to this day, having published over 15 books on feminism, literature and the environment. She splits her time between the UK and Australia, where she lives on a patch of rainforest in southeast Queensland.
How did you maintain self-belief when your work was getting criticised and harshly criticised?
You're nearly always praised for the wrong reasons, and you'll be blamed for the wrong reasons as well. So you just got to hold steady. Keep to the course. You've no choice but to follow, really. Otherwise you will be again buffeted by every contrary current, and you really can't be that thing.
Germaine has lived life on her own terms. She's influenced and inspired people the world over through her ideas and independent thinking with incredible self-belief. To break away from the pack, challenge the status quo, and have unwavering courage in your own convictions. While Germaine took this to the next level, we see this common thread with everyone we meet. You have walked your own path, so we've just got your little pair of hiking poles.
Are they long enough for me?
Yeah, they're extendable, of course. And we hope you may be able to use those up at Mount Warning as well.
Goodness.
Well, really, Germaine, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it.